Star Wars Episode 3 is the most disappointing thing since Star Wars Episode 2. What kind of an intro is that, you say? Well, shit, I think it's hard to be disappointed anymore when your expectations are so low they're right next to fucking dinosaur bones. I think we all went to see this movie just to get it over with. Or it was like an obligation. Like going to your stupid daughter's college graduation. You know it's gonna suck, but you gotta go just to get it over with. No, fuck that metaphor. This was like going to an autopsy. You know it's dead, and nothing's gonna change that. But you gotta do an autopsy to find out what killed it. Or who killed it. So that's what this review is gonna be. An autopsy video about Star Wars. Paging Dr. Plinkett. Dr. Plinkett is in I'm here. Someone pass the Vicodins. No, wait. We need ambience. Well, we sure need something. And for the record, I'm gonna give this movie an honest review and analysis. I'll point out anything that's good if I find it. But still, a lot of you will claim that I'm one of those people that says George Lucas ruined my childhood. Now that's just crazy talk. George Lucas didn't ruin my childhood. Fucking polio did. Number one. What were you expecting, asshole? Before we start, let's recap a little on the whole prequel thing and how it ruined 6 years of everyone's lives. Even starving African children in Cambodia. Now in short, I'm gonna explain how everyone in the world felt. Ready? Number one, The Phantom Menace. First of all, right off the bat, everyone thought the title was a joke. Everyone. That was a real bad sign from the start. But then when you saw the trailer for The Phantom Menace, it looked pretty good. Oh my god, a new Star Wars movie? Can you fucking believe it? Hey, awesome, a young Obi-Wan Kenobi is fighting some weird alien dude with a red lightsaber. A little kid? Well, I'll give it a shot, I guess. Hey, neat space battles. Oh, what's up with that geisha-looking chick? That's kind of weird. It doesn't really look like Star Wars should look, but maybe it could be cool. But wow, this is kind of exciting. And then you saw the movie. Oh. Number 2, Attack of the Clones. So after the shock wore off, we started to hear about the second film that was going to come out. Things looked a little more promising. The stupid kid is gone. There's something that looks like Boba Fett, or maybe it is Boba Fett. We see like early looking stormtroopers or something. We find out the title's called Attack of the Clones. And you're like, well, okay. It couldn't be worse than The Phantom Menace. And it's not too much of a stretch from a title like The Empire Strikes Back. Maybe we just needed to get used to it. So hopefully things have improved some. Oh my god! Then came time for the third one. And by this time we felt like a fucking battered housewife who keeps returning to an abusive husband. Again, the first thing we knew was the title. Which of course you thought the obvious thing, right? That if you simply rearranged the letters in the word Sith, you could spell out a different word that just might predict what this movie was gonna be. Tishi. Which is Chinese for disappointed in the cooking of the duck meat. But it also harkened back to the original title of Return of the Jedi, which was supposed to be Revenge of the Jedi. But at the last minute, Lucas had decided to change the title from Revenge to Return, because he discovered that having a word with one less letter in it would save him $916 annually on the cost of printing the logo on countless t-shirts, action figure boxes, and posters. Hey, ink's not cheap, kids. The man runs the business. However, by 2005, Lucas had saved up well over $1,000 in his ink fund so he could afford that extra letter. So you bought your ticket, or you snuck in the side door while people were leaving, you got some popcorn or booze, and you were ready to watch the third and final installment of the Star Wars prequels. How bad could it really be? Oh. You never thought you'd be laughing at the end, did you? Laughing so hard you couldn't breathe. Was all this a big practical joke? Well, we'll examine this and so many other things. It's time to put on my rubber gloves. Let's have a look, shall we? Trust me, I'm a doctor. Kind of. Number 2. Here we go again.
Here we go again.
That's right, here we go again. When C-3PO said that in Jedi, it was meant to be like endearing. Like he was a little nervous, but we're all excited about the adventure that awaited us.
This is where the fun begins.
You could say the same thing in regards to Revenge of the Sith, but with this movie, you kind of meant it in like a painful way. It's an actual here we go again. Cause you've been tricked twice already, but for some reason you need to see how it ends. Wait, what? Heroes on both sides? What? Can evil robots be called heroes? Wait, why am I watching this crap? This guy they call Lucas, he's got us all by the balls.
Isn't it?
His fingers are in our wallets. Get your finger out of my ass wallet. Now, before this movie came out, this is what everyone heard.
It's the best of the 3 prequels. It's the darkest of the 3. It's a lot better and darker than the other 2 films.
Who gives a crap how dark it is? My stool is dark, and Doctor says that's bad. I don't know why he thinks he knows so much about interior decorating, though. Then Roger Ebert gave it 3.5 stars. And then someone even said that it was the bestest movie ever because it had lava in it. Oh, ain't he cute? His name is Johnny. I adopted him from a grocery store parking lot. Now, setting aside any kind of wild and crazy theories about movie critic payoffs, people sucking up to Lucasfilm by saying they like The Phantom Menace. I mean, I'd rather see episode 3 than blood in my urine, but the movie was just so fucking boring. With a few exceptions, like the comedy scenes.
You're so beautiful.
It's only because I'm so in love.
No. No, it's because I'm so in love with you.
So love has blinded you.
Well, that's not exactly what I meant.
So let's talk about the good things.
Do it.
Ironically, the most major positives about this film are the things that are not in the film. 1. Han Solo was not ruined. Now, Chewbacca was ruined for being pointlessly shoehorned into this movie. But Chewbacca was no Han Solo. Thankfully, nowhere in this film do we have to watch that scene. You know, the one where we meet a young Han Solo, who would of course look like this. It would have been really easy for George to have a little 5-year-old kid running around that ship at the end and walk up to the 2 babies and have like Obi-Wan or Jimmy Smith say, "Young Han Solo, meet baby Luke and Leia," and have them shake their little baby hands. It would be like Han lived on that ship or whatever, or shoehorn him in somewhere else. You'd think a toy of a young Han Solo would sell like hotcakes. 2. No Millennium Falcon. The Millennium Falcon is so fucking cool.
What a piece of junk!
It just screams classic Star Wars. It's one of those unique and iconic spaceship designs that have become a staple of pop culture. Thankfully, nowhere in this film do we see the Millennium Falcon flying around doing something stupid with like its original owner, who would most likely be some kind of terrible looking generic CGI piece of crap. No, the Millennium Falcon is safe and secure. It wasn't raped. Where would you rape the Millennium Falcon anyway? Right there. I've done it. Again, it's pretty shocking that in a film that exploits the pre-established iconic Star Wars images to such a degree that he didn't sell out with this one too. Speaking of selling out, have you guys taken the Kodak printer challenge? Here's how it works. Switch your current printer to a Kodak one, and then see how much money you save throughout the course of a decade. Or was it a year, not a decade? In either case, I got all my results right here. Let me share them with you. I've been keeping a record of it here in my creepy notebook. I've been logging all the times that I purchased ink and how much I paid. And now it's time to see how much I saved by using a Kodak printer. What? After fucking 10 years, that's all I saved? You piece of fucking crap! What? Where's that goddamn printer? Well, at least Kodak paid me 20 grand for that plug. Unfortunately, I spent the 20 grand on hair plugs. Back to the review. 3. Almost no Jar Jar Binks. After 3 films, Lucas finally got it. We only see this loathsome cunt for but a brief moment or two. But even though his role as a funny thing for babies is no longer useful, he's still walking around the Senate doing something. Why isn't he working as a janitor somewhere? You know, that thing he did on Naboo was like 15 years ago. You'd think the novelty would have worn off. Lucas just put him in there as a big fuck you to the audience for not accepting him.
Jar Jar is a key to all this. If we get Jar Jar working, because he's a funnier character than we've ever had in any of the movies before.
It's good to show contempt for your audience. Just ask Michael Bay. 4. No kids. The first film obviously had a kid. A kid that made you want to sterilize the human race. Yippee! It also had other kids that fucking talk too. The second film had even more kids that talk. Finally, the only kid in this film that talks dies. And all of them die. These are positive changes. 5. No stupid ass retarded love story.
I don't like sand.
Thankfully, there's no terrible love story in this one. This film is filled with hate and revenge, choking, murder, betrayal, sadness, more murder, more choking, worrying, more murder, death, and so on. Hey, anyone still want to use the excuse that these movies are made for little children? I offer now as the time for you to bring that up. Lucas goes full-on adult audience here, giving us the very first Star Wars film that's rated PG-13. So why does this have to be so dark? I mean, did we really need this in a Star Wars movie? Okay, so Darth Vader was a bad guy, sure. But did he have to be a violent murderer? Was all that necessary in a space adventure film for all ages?
Well, technically, yeah, because this is a story that shows how Anakin Skywalker became Darth Vader.
Yeah, I know! But that's really the whole point of everything here, isn't it? Was this a story that needed to be told? Well, any story can be interesting. It just depends on how it's done. Was this the way it should have been done? And lastly, the only good thing about the film that's in the film is number 6, the Emperor. While his character was essentially ruined by being in such horrible schlock and actually doing some pretty dumb stuff himself, the Emperor is just so wonderful anyways that it doesn't matter. Whether he's just filled with pure hate, or he's doing manipulative things to less smart people, or he's just being plain old silly. The man seems to find such joy in being pure evil. You gotta respect that. He even seems to get off a little in his pantaloons on how much hate he could feel in Anakin. I guess I really like Palpatine so much because he's the only character with any kind of passion. He's fucking evil and he loves it. And he's got a goal he's working towards obtaining.
Once more, the Sith will rule the galaxy.
Everyone else is just like a cardboard cutout. So I think that's it. Unfortunately, Natalie Portman doesn't take off her clothes at any point. In fact, now she dresses like a fucking Quaker or something. Boy, I sure do miss the 80s. So, what else did I like? I guess I liked it when Anakin got burned. I liked it when it was over. Number 3, what the hell is happening? So let's get into this film. First and foremost, I want to debunk a few myths about why it's good, okay? Number 1, because it's dark. No. Number 2,
that opening shot is really impressive. Because it's like, one long, uncut shot or something.
no. You see, I'm sure this was done intentionally by Lucasfilm. 1, so there'd be something memorable about the start of this film. And 2, so that idiots will tell other idiots about it, because at this point, there's nothing impressive about visual effects. They don't dazzle the audience anymore like they did in the past. Now it's just a bunch of crap all over the screen made by computer animators that wish they chose other careers. like working in a toll booth. Some kind of uncut special effects shot involving models and precise timing and actual camera work would have been impressive. But this shit ain't no Rube Goldberg machine. Or it ain't no fucking Goodfellas shot, that's for sure. So what? It's a few minutes of a CGI battle sequence some guy renders on his computer. But whole movies are made entirely with computers now, even without any actors whatsoever. Movies like Toy Story and Transformers. An edit here or there doesn't matter. So if you were impressed by that, then you've been punked. Just like Demi Moore. Okay, so I'll be brief. I have no idea who's attacking what or what ships belong to who, and I'm not even going to try to figure it out. There's ships all over the place, things are exploding, and nothing's at stake for me to care. So we see Anakin and Obi-Wan flying around in this mess. They know what ship is General Grievous,
General Grievous's ship is directly ahead.
but they don't tell the other ships so that they could all attack it at once and disable it or whatever. But that's okay because I don't even know who General Grievous is because no one told me yet. I'm gonna assume he's important because he's a general, and apparently he's got some kind of grievance with somebody. I don't know. But also aboard the ship is Commander Nefarious, Captain I'm a Bad Guy, and Admiral Bone to Pick. But they don't mention them. But what I can comment here on this scene is something I noticed, which I'll call backtracking. You see, the whole point of all this shit, or so I thought, was that Anakin Skywalker was supposedly a great and kind, noble Jedi Knight who was tragically seduced by the dark side of the Force and became a Darth Vader.
Vader was seduced by the dark
I
side
just
of
said
the Force.
that! Instead, for whatever reason, Anakin is written as a bad apple from the start.
Tell us now!
I killed them.
And even in this film, he's now wearing some kind of dark clothes and his hair is long and unkempt. He just seems like more of an asshole. But whoever's writing this shit suddenly realizes that they need to remind the audience that Anakin is still a good guy. So the dumbest thing ever happens.
They're all over me!
I'm gonna go help them out.
What? He wants to go back and help out the clone trooper. Oh, right. Anakin is noble. You know, pretty much from the start, they've established that the clone troopers are disposable people. Thanks for the ride, idiots! I'm pretty sure when formulating battle plans, Yoda or whoever isn't thinking of casualties in terms of how many widows this battle is going to create, like poor Abe Lincoln was. He was thinking if he was gonna run out of disposable people before the battle was over. And shit, at this point, Obi-Wan and Anakin have been fighting the Clone Wars for years. They're probably grown accustomed to seeing these guys bite it by the thousand. But yet on the brink of reaching General Grievous's ship, whoever that is, to save the Supreme Chancellor, Anakin is suddenly concerned with the welfare of one clone trooper.
I'm gonna go help them out.
I'm afraid it's a little too late to backtrack the entire last film. Number 4, setting the stage for confusion. Continuing on, let's discuss opening sequences in general. You see, most movies open with some kind of something or other that gets things going. In screenwriting terminologies, it's called an opening scene, or things that starts the movie off at the beginning. In most cases, it can be an elaborate action sequence that introduces the characters and setting, or it can be a funny sequence that sets the tone. Or it can also be something as simple as a word that ignites a mystery. In Revenge of the Sith, the opening sequence is so weird, disjointed, and ultimately pointless that it makes Cop Dog look like Cop Out. I don't even know what that means. By the way, did you guys see Cop Out? It was amazing. I said, it was amazing. Check it out. Oh, there it is. So the very first thing that we gotta sit through is a pointless and unexciting sequence where Anakin and Obi-Wan fight off robot things on their ships, only to eventually make it to where they're going to get to anyways. They also make waste of battle droids with such efficiency that it's both totally pointless and boring. You might as well just have them land their speeders in the hangar bay and get out, and not have the battle droids there at all, because it's the same goddamn thing if they're there or not there. You get it? Then we're introduced to something that I guess is a reptile inside a robot costume wearing a cape. Now, is General Grievous supposed to be funny? Because they said he was a villain, right? Not a comedian? Like Larry Seinfeld, but more like a creepy weirdo like Jerry Flint. I'm so confused. Anyway, with these fucking Star Wars prequels, I'm always forced to go back to screenwriting 101, and a big four-letter word that comes to mind. Fuck. No, I'm just kidding. The word is crap. No, I'm just kidding. The word is shit. No, I'm just kidding. The word is piss. No, I'm just kidding. The word is poop. No, I'm just kidding. The word is garbage. No, I'm just kidding. The word is tone. And for those of you who don't understand what I'm saying, tone is how a movie feels. Movies are either like comedies, or dramas, or action movies, or thrillers. If they waver on the tone, you don't know what it is and your brain starts to hurt. Typically, you should establish what your movie is in the first 10 minutes or so. Take Ghostbusters. You establish your characters. They're witty and funny, and your audience gets that this movie's gonna be some kind of light-hearted comedy thing with ghosts in it. There isn't a violent rape on a pinball machine in the first 10 minutes of Ghostbusters. Nor is there a pie-in-the-face gag in the opening of Citizen Kane. In Revenge of the Sith, what appears to be a general space adventure film is punctuated by a brutal decapitation mixed with bizarre attempts at slapstick humor. This whole sequence from the beginning to the crash landing goes from an intense, confusing, and complicated space battle to awkward slapstick.
Did you press the stop button?
No, did you?
No. Oh, it's you.
Then suddenly it becomes dark and violent. Then back to awkward comedy.
R2.
Then I don't know what the hell the tone is supposed to be here. If it's supposed to be funny or exciting or scary. I can't feel anything. Then to make matters worse, Lucas prematurely tries to create a thematic bridge between Jedi and Sith by having a set that looks like the throne room of the Emperor. In Return of the Jedi, everything built up to that showdown. There's a certain tension in the air. You can't use that imagery here and now at the beginning. It makes no sense and it's confusing to us. Either have an opening sequence where it's like the last of the lighthearted adventures of Obi-Wan and Anakin before things go really bad, or have a dark, dramatic opening sequence where Anakin and Palpatine discover things about each other and a dark tone is set. One or the other. Well, let's discuss what happens here. Palpatine has been kidnapped by General Grievous, and the Jedis are there to rescue him. The entire sequence revolves around the moment when Anakin goes a little too far and cuts off Dooku's head. So basically, as far as I'm concerned, at this point Anakin is Darth Vader, and getting burned and put inside the suit is just a formality. But several questions remain that aren't told to the audience. And I don't care if it was told to us in a fucking book or whatever. 1. Did Grievous actually attempt to kidnap Palpatine on his own? 2. Did Palpatine allow Grievous to kidnap him, or did the two conspire together to stage the kidnapping? 3. If they conspired the kidnapping, was Dooku being killed part of the plan? If so, did Dooku have any say in this plan? 4. What if Dooku just happened to spill the beans about Palpatine being Sidious when he realized he was betrayed? What if Anakin didn't kill Dooku after Palpatine said to kill him? Talk about awkward. 5. Did Grievous intend to kill Anakin and Obi-Wan, or was his plan to let them escape? If so, why wouldn't he just leave their lightsabers behind somewhere, like in a safe or something, rather than bringing them with?
Your lightsabers will make a fine addition to my collection.
Oh, he wanted to put them inside his coat with his other trophies. Oh. Well, being trained in the Jedi arts, doesn't he know that Jedis can move things with their minds? And that displaying that he has a bunch of lightsabers is probably not the best idea, because then they'll just do exactly what they did? Oh. But wait, there's more! Grievous sends his henchmen to attack them, and then for no reason he walks out of the frame and does nothing off camera while the Jedi defeat the henchmen. Where is he going? Why is he going over there? What the hell is he doing? Unless his plan was to escape, but then why bring them up to the control room? Why not keep them locked in the ray shield and then just leave? Wait, if Obi-Wan can just grab the lightsaber with his mind, did they even need R2's distraction? Oh wait, what if Anakin was having like a really bad day and he was tired and unfocused, and then he accidentally got killed by one of those guys with the things? I guess Palpatine was secretly controlling Grievous and everyone's actions in the control room, including Obi-Wan's, Anakin's, and all the robot guards fighting them. Because Anakin could have gotten killed. He could have gotten crushed by the elevator. But that doesn't explain how stupid General Grievous acted. Why not just keep them in the ray shield forever? But then you get... Oh, Grievous doesn't know? So wait, why didn't Grievous just execute Palpatine so that he could win the war? Or kill Palpatine and the Jedis when he captured them? Was he trying to get like a ransom? Did Sidious tell him to capture Palpatine so that he could lure the Jedis on board only to kill Dooku?
But the loss of Count Dooku.
Wait, I guess not. Wouldn't Sidious have wanted the Jedis to escape? I'm so confused. But wait, there's more. In the first 5 minutes, we've already gotten into territory where every single line in action makes no sense again. First of all, once they rescue Palpatine, he says,
Get help, you're no match for him. He's a Sith Lord.
Obi-Wan then turns and says something incredibly stupid.
Chancellor Palpatine, Sith Lords are our specialty.
Oh, sure they are. His real response should have been, wait, get help from where? From who? Who on this ship could help us? And how do you know he's a Sith Lord? Or how do you even know what a Sith Lord is? Instead, the whole comic goes right over Obi-Wan's heads. I guess Palpatine was controlling his mind, right? To like make him stupider?
How did this happen? We're smarter than this.
Then after Dooku is dead, there's a sudden urgency to get off the ship when before there was no urgency at all.
Leave him or we'll never make it.
Why is there a sudden urgency to leave?
Now we must leave before more security droids arrive.
Oh, right, yeah. Those security droids have always been a real problem.
There's no time. We must get off this ship before it's too late.
Anakin should really stop and say, hold on. Before what's too late?
Leave him or we'll never make it.
What's the rush, Chancellor? You know, you're acting like a weirdo. You know what a Sith Lord is?
He's a Sith Lord.
You're telling me to cut off someone's head.
Kill him.
And then you're telling me to leave Obi-Wan Kenobi, a Jedi that we've all known for decades,
Leave him or we'll never make it.
to die for no real reason when there's no real hurry. We can't take 5 minutes to pick his body up. You're acting kind of suspicious. But no, our lead characters can't form coherent thoughts or are intelligent enough to notice basic things like this. And then we as an audience are constantly sitting there asking ourselves questions about motivation and logic the entire film because the script is a rushed, sloppy mess that was written in a week.
There you go. A first draft. Official first draft.
All these scenes and all this shit is just to get Anakin in the Darth Vader suit for no real reason at all. And people wonder why the prequels are bad, poorly written films. I stand by my statement that people that like these films are either drooling idiots that just like lightsabers or tiny babies.
Anakin.
Next, we see our second usage of backtracking, when we are reminded that Anakin was indeed a great pilot.
He was the best star pilot in the galaxy.
You see, he knows how to say,
Open all hatches, extend all flaps and drag fins.
he also tried spinning. That's a good trick.
I'll try spinning. That's a good trick.
Wow, what a great and legendary pilot. Stop feeding us this pig slop. I'm only half pig. So then, ignoring the logic that a runway wouldn't exist in a world where every craft can take off vertically, but on a planet that's nothing but a city, it's a good thing they didn't crash into a space orphanage.
Another happy landing.
Another happy landing? What kind of crappy dialogue is that? Anyways, speaking of happy landings, have you planned your next fun jet vacation? These hotels and resorts come highly recommended by our knowledgeable team of destination experts based on the amenities, added values, and overall experience they provide. And since we refresh the deals every 2 weeks, there's always something new to check out. Check out these hot vacation destinations: St. Louis, Missouri; Kabul, Afghanistan; Sheboygan, Wisconsin; Nairobi, Kenya; North Korean holding cell awaiting public execution for spying. No refunds. Speaking of destinations, let's take a trip to our film's main setting. Number 5. A war with no consequences. The terrible result of the limited script focus is the lost opportunities of all the other elements at play. Basically, the point of all 3 films is just to get Anakin into the Darth Vader suit and to neatly tie everything together at the end, and to make a shit zillion dollars. In the end, when you think about it, nothing else mattered, really. Obi-Wan was static and boring, as was Padme, and basically everyone else. And the ironic part is at the center of all this is the largest galactic war ever, which was used as a device by Palpatine to trick the Senate into making him the Emperor, when he apparently had the ability to influence people's minds anyways. Could have skipped the whole war from the beginning. So again, the war is between robots and clones. The robots do try to conquer other planets like the Wookiee planet and the whatever planet, but basically the effects of this war are not felt at all on Coruscant, the main setting of the film. The whole war just seems like some kind of minor inconvenience happening somewhere out in space, even though it says otherwise in the opening title crawl. Padme combs her hair on the window, smiling. There's an active nightlife scene. Ships fly around like business as usual. And then they babble on about taking back whatever system in like a dry, dull corporate boardroom meeting. I've always hesitated on suggesting ideas on how to fix the Star Wars prequels because basically everything in them is wrong. But here's a couple of simple ideas to make the audience care even slightly about what's going on. 1. Skip all that clone troopers crap. Stormtroopers originally seemed to be just dudes in uniforms. Like they never said they were clones. In fact, they even small-talked with each other.
Do you know what's going on? Maybe it's another drill.
But you gotta do something with clones, because they mention it.
You fought in the Clone Wars?
Yeah, I got it, thanks. But anyway, how about the clones are just like ugly, cloned monsters? Maybe like those things from the Lord of the Rings movies. The Urgutu. Whatever the hell they were called. The things that got birthed by evil magic. Then they attack Coruscant and suddenly this peaceful republic is thrust into war because clones from some mysterious place in outer space attack them. Ordinary men are forced into service and die by the millions, causing terrible suffering and chaos on Coruscant. This would make battle scenes more emotionally engaging. Then after so many years of war, it becomes commonplace, or even law, that able-bodied men must be a stormtrooper for however many years. And over a generation, they become loyal soldiers. But then you got all those admirals and officers and all those other guys, and they ain't the Boba Fett clones. They either signed up or were drafted. Perhaps we actually witness a physical decay of Coruscant over the duration of the war. At first we see a ton of flying car traffic in the first film, and then as the war goes on, the traffic's down to basically nothing. Buildings are in decay, we see food lines, then Palpatine would make speeches about making the ultimate sacrifice for the Empire, and so on. Almost how a real dictatorship begins and operates. Instead we get this.
I can go early and fix up the baby's room.
And then even at the end of the special edition of Jedi, they show Coruscant celebrating the destruction of the Death Star, and the city basically looks the same. If you were an average Joe, the rise and fall of the Empire might not have even affected your life in the least bit, it seems, making the sacrifice and risk of the rebellion utterly pointless. Nice job, everyone. No one cares. Oh. Hello?
Hi, Mr. Plinkett. It's me again. The limo's gonna be there in about 15 minutes.
Thank you. I'll be down then. It's time. Oh. Oh. Oh, shit.